1,000 people without power right now in Charlotte.
And that could go up.
It could go up, you know, and it is raining outside, a little bit windy, but you know.
Well, and I really think what it is most likely the winds.
Yeah.
Just because the winds were still howling up to about 30 miles per hour. That's
Sure.
enough to bring down some large limbs, especially if they're a little bit weaker.
Yep.
So that's causing likely some power issues. But then also it's windy, it's wet, it's cold. So Megan, welcome.
Welcome.
To the worst day of the week.
Grab
That's
your
exactly what
blankets.
this- Oh my goodness.
Drink your coffee.
If this graphic doesn't motivate you, I don't know what to tell you. However, as the optimist at heart, this ultimately means it's going to get better, right?
That's right. Only up from here.
So on this Super Sunday, it's the opposite of super. So welcome to the worst. Here is what our weather words are pointing to. I had this exact graphic yesterday. I just had to change the timing of it. This is a rain event. Little to no snow will fall around Charlotte. It's windy today, and it's cold in the 30s and 40s. Now, Charlotte's mainly going to be in the 40s, but it'll feel like the 30s all day long, so that wind is very brutal, especially when there's some moisture in the air. So what's happening? We actually have 2 rounds of rain technically that are meshing into one. So that means it's not going to be an all-day washout. We're already seeing some avenues of clearing, some drier air working in between these 2 low-pressure systems. And the snowfall that the mountains see, you're under a winter storm warning, really isn't arriving until a little bit later on this afternoon. That's when the technical colder air is going to sweep in, where this heavy rain could change over to heavy snow, and you're going to have some quick accumulations. Likely from Jefferson to Boone to Pinola, I think you are seeing some snow mixing in with rain. Please tweet me at your weatherman, Facebook message me, and let me know what you're seeing up there, because sometimes the images from the radar is the best that we have. But as I mentioned, we are going to hit some breaks. It's still going to feel damp in between these rounds of rain, but we're waiting on the second low pressure system. That's what's filtering in some of that colder air out of the north. That's what's going to be changing the game for us. But once this low gets a little bit close to the Charlotte area by the end of the afternoon, there's a chance for what we like to call white rain. Simply, it looks like it's snowing heavily, but really once it hits the ground, it's falling as rain because it's quickly melting as it hits the surface. And then once you get a little bit later on this evening, this system's clearing out. We're drying out for your Monday, Tuesday looking to be pretty good. And then once you get to Wednesday, clouds start to roll in, and we see our next wet weather system that likely is arriving on Thursday. So I'm going to slow things down. As I mentioned, some of us are going to see a break. I would say mid to late morning is the best time for that. This is my super futurecast where it shows the estimated wind gusts and temperatures, and keep an eye on the temperatures, because watch, once we get to the afternoon, we're going to be in the 40s. As we know from basic meteorology, it starts to freeze at 32. So why would we have a snow potential? Well, this upper level low squeezes that colder air close to the surface. So it's physically snowing less than a mile above our head. So some of it's able to reach the surface. So this model is showing widespread snow, I would say starting by the end of the morning, especially during the afternoon. That's where we're seeing most of the snow accumulations. But you can see this one little area branch off. I would not be surprised if we start to see some bursts of snow mid to late afternoon. It's not going to affect our roads, though. It's just going to fall as rain as far as the impacts go. And then once you get to about 6, 7, 8 o'clock, I think most of this is going to be clearing out. So good news. So we still have that winter storm warning for the mountains. We're still looking at estimations anywhere from about 1 to 4 inches to fall. The higher you go up in the mountaintops, they're of course going to be seeing a little bit more. And the rainfall potential, most of it's actually already fallen. I think you're going to see a little bit more falling north of I-40. Our high temperature trend, boy, is this going to be an interesting one. This is the absolute bottom. I said the worst. We're going to be trending in a much better direction. Looking at the mid 60s Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even back to the 70s. But then once we cool off into Saturday, we're going to see an immediate rebound back to the 70s. So this is a really gracious forecast that we're seeing through February. And I'm going to end with our precipitation chances. Today is one of the best that you're going to see all week. However, it looks like Thursday into Friday, we're going to see another surge. So as I mentioned, today might be the worst, but it's only up from here.